Welcome to your meditation practice. To start with, we're going to look at ways to sit in a comfortable position. Traditionally, you will see meditation done in the cross-leg position, so we can cross the legs. Our main focus is that we can sit nice and tall in this position. So, if you come into a seated position and you notice, A, your knees are higher than your hips, or B, your back is rolled back in this position, so it's quite difficult for you to find this tall spine. We need to make an adjustment to make you feel comfortable during your breath work. That may be using a yoga block such as this. You could simply just get 2 thick books and sit on it as well. So what we want to do is sit onto the block, and when we sit onto the block, that rises our hips. So if our hips have been elevated to begin with, now we have the elevated knees, but the hips have come up to meet the knees. So that has brought us into a more open hip position. So it reduces the gripping or the tightness that can happen in the hip socket. It also tends to rectify the spinal position. So it makes it much easier for us to come into this tall, long spine, what's also known as neutral spine. Sometimes you might need more than one block. A second block might be needed. So you can experiment with that yourself at home. If you're nearly there and your knees are only lifting just a little bit and they don't find their way down onto the floor like this, a cushion might be all you need. So literally just sit yourself onto the cushion. That props the pelvis up a little bit higher, and it makes it easier for your knees to find the floor. And once your knees find the floor, the whole leg, the weight of the leg is being supported by the floor. If either of these options don't work for you, there's a kneeling option as well. So we can come simply into this kneeling position here, allow the bum to come and find the heels, and then we're coming back into this nice, tall, long spine position. The block can also be useful here. So if you don't have the flexibility through the knees to get the bum down onto the heels, you can take your block and you can place it either on this skinny edge like this, or the flat edge, either or. So obviously the flat edge, you don't get as much height on the flat edge. Sometimes people will need 2 blocks on the flat edge, or you can turn it up on the skinny edge to give you more height. The one thing I would say about the skinny edge, when you come up onto the skinny edge, it's not very comfortable. So ideally, I would always like students to have 2 blocks flat in this direction if that's what they need. Or maybe we could compromise, because we're working from home, we could maybe have the block that way, but have some kind of cushion that's there to make it more comfortable. So our main key goal to begin with, your starting position needs to be comfortable. Otherwise, it'll be very difficult for you to soften the breath when we're creating that breath work. If neither of these work, no problem. You can sit on a chair. Find a chair that has an upright position so you're staying in a nice upright space. The final option will be to lie on your back. So lying on your back with the legs outstretched, like this, and the palms up towards the sky. Ideally, if you can find one of the other 3 options and be comfortable, that is a really nice place to start your breath work. Because generally what tends to happen when we lie on the ground, we get so comfortable we fall asleep. So we're sort of losing the potential from the breath work that way. So you're going to choose one of those 3, or if you want to do the lying down, that's fine to begin with. The lying down can be a nice way to practice the breath. So the focus of deep breathing in and out, especially if it's your first time to do meditation practice. So find a comfortable seat. Bring your hands onto your knees. You can place the palms down if you want to retain energy. If you want to receive energy, turn the palms up towards the sky. From here, I'm going to invite you to gently close down the eyes. Press the sit bones or the tailbone down into the earth, as if the sit bone is like roots of a tree, grounding you, building a strong foundation. Lengthening the crown of the head long, as if the crown of the head is the branches of the tree. Collarbones are opening wide. Shoulders are soft on the back. Eyelids are light. Jaw is soft. And just take a moment in that tall, active position, bringing intention into that upright posture, and equally softening into the space. Maybe start to notice some tension that may be held in the body. And bring your breath towards that space. Breathing in and exhaling out. Notice as you exhale, there's a softening and a surrendering. And as you inhale, there's an expansion and an elevation on that inhale. Follow that internal dance that the breath creates. The rising of the collarbones as we inhale. Softening of the ribs as we exhale. Continue to follow that breath pattern, breathing into the belly and exhale, melting as we surrender into that space. I will mind the time and let you know when we're coming back to this physical space. For now, breathe into the belly deeply and exhale out and soften. Take 2 more breaths in, breathing in through your nose and exhaling out through your mouth. Breathing in and exhaling. In your own time, start to create a little bit of movement in the body. Maybe rolling the shoulders or circling the hands, keeping the eyes closed down, and just normal breaths now. There's no need for deep breaths. You're coming out of the meditative practice right now. And slowly rest your hands down. Just gently notice the sounds around the room, the space that you're in. Gently flicker open the eyes to look out to the floor in front of you. And then slowly raise the eye gaze to look forward. Well done. You have just